Hello everyone, it's Mike Lazar here. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about Byzantine music, singing technique, and music theory in general. Now today, we're going to be reacting to and analyzing a YouTuber. His name is Ivan Dorin. I like this guy. He is a very interesting guy. He's pretty smart. And his channel is him outlining his progress in vocal development and outlining his vocal range and saying how high he can go and how low he can go. And there's a few things we're going to learn today and a few things we should and should not do in singing. So let's begin. Here he's going to talk about his chest voice and head voice.
I've been pondering for a while how low I can sing in head voice, or what's commonly called head voice versus chest voice. It seems to me that the two difference between the two is just a difference in resonance, really.
Yeah, that is true. The difference between the head voice and the chest voice is how much resonance and how much is coming from down here. So when you sing with your head voice, a lot of the placement comes from the back of your head, and it sounds very light and doesn't have much. It sounds like air is just simply moving through your vocal cords. It's not like a lot of vibrating is going on. And when the chest voice, it sounds like there's a lot more vibration, a lot more resonance going on. So he's got that right there.
Head voice seems to be farther back, resonating farther back, and chest voice seems to be far closer up to the front.
Yeah, he's talking about vocal placement. So how close and how forward your vocal placement is. For example, like mo is very forward versus wo very behind. I like to keep my vocal placement more forward so it's easier to project and it sounds better. I think placing behind works in more choir settings, but again, I'm not really a big fan of choir settings. I like having solo voice singers.
Of the mouth. This in head voice, or in chest voice is like that. So
see what's happening here is like the way he's placing it. That one he's placing more forward, and that one he's placing more back. Let's keep listening.
So it's just a.
What he's doing sounds really painful. But what he's doing is moving the placement. Is from the back of his throat to the front of his mouth. And let's do it with an easier note. So ma mo. And just moving the placement. And the more forward it is, the easier it is to project.
Shifting from back to forward. So the lowest I seem to be able to go in head voice is hard to determine because it's very quiet, but I'll try here.
So what he's doing is essentially going as low as he can with falsetto. And the thing with falsetto is that it's applicable in high notes. But I've never seen somebody have to use falsetto with their middle range or lower range. But there are some situations, like if you want, if there's a guy who wants to sing the alto part, and the alto part goes like to an F, then they might use falsetto F, just so it blends more with the choir, doesn't sound like a guy singing alto. Or if there's like a countertenor, but then countertenors are naturally higher pitched singers, so let's just see what else he has to say. See, like he's gotten so low that like you can't literally hear what he's singing. It's kind of not distorted. It's like the opposite of distorted. It's like unaudible.
That's down to C1, but at the end, there's just breath, and it's very, very quiet. Now if I start at C2 here, and then
see, the thing with what he's doing right now, it's not very applicable in the sense that I would never have to use it. So it's interesting. His channel focuses on finding the extremities of the human voice, and I like his message. It's saying that you have to film progress and development to see it. And his whole channel, you can see from it's from a few years ago versus now, like where he was then, where he was now.
And try to go to chest voice. I can get a lot more.
See, one thing with his lower notes, you see how he's positioning them. I see a lot of people do this with their low notes. They put their chin like this, and they have like a fake double chin. It's not a good idea to do that with low notes. The way he's singing the low notes are pretty good. He's like he's very forward placing them, and he's not swallowing them back up with and also you can see they're very clear, they're very crisp low notes. He's a very good low singer.
Power that way. Versus in head voice. So that seems to be the difference is there. I think there's always a slight mixture of the two when I try to sing it in low notes, but I can't hear what I think of as the head voice, the breath portion, because it's not nearly as loud as the chest voice or the rattle portion, like ah, like that.
Okay, so what he's saying is the transition between the voices. For most people, the transition between chest and head voice happens, I want to say, like the last 2 or 3 notes of their range. Like for me, like a G would be the transition where like either I hit the A full voice if it's hard to do, or I can hit it, falsetto head voice. But one thing I don't like when he does is that when he slides into the notes, I feel like it's a bad habit to make, because you're not allowing yourself to become more direct in pitches. It becomes more sloppy, technique-wise.
So that's what I think is the difference between what we commonly call head and chest.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Right now I can feel this buzzing in my chest, but if I go up to about here, it's not in the chest anymore. I don't feel that buzzing anymore. And if I do the very breathy voice that I did at the beginning, that does not really buzz in my chest.
Yep. Everything he's saying so far makes pretty good sense.
Or very faintly. Whereas, that vibrates first. That does not make it.
I really like his low notes. Like, I know it sounds weird how he's singing them very loud, but here's the thing. With those low notes, it's hard for the human ear to hear them. So that's why you have a lot of bass instruments, like the bass guitar, have amplifiers on them, because you can't really hear those notes individually unless you're amplifying the sound of them. And the fact that he's able to project that loud is very impressive.
Buzz in my chest. So that seems to me the difference between what I call them. It's mostly a difference in resonance, as far as I can see.
Resonance and placement, yeah. Smart. Alright, so let's look at this video. He's going to talk about really high notes and really low notes. It's going to be interesting. There's a few things to learn from this, so let's watch.
High notes can be hard to distinguish because there's no point of reference for them, especially when you go off the end of the piano.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of like the world record, highest note ever sung possible, like those world records, it's interesting to see how they can't really use a piano to reference them. They have to use either a pitch pipe or a tuner.
So it can be hard to tell one octave from the other. Even sometimes I can play a C4 and not sure if I'm playing middle C or not, or singing.
Yeah. When I switched from like a soprano to a bass and my voice changed, my middle C, which was C4 when I was a soprano, felt like the bottom of my range, and then my voice changed. The C3, felt like my middle C as a bass. Interesting concept.
Middle C or not? Oh, that's supposed to be middle C. C4, C5.
Yeah, C5 for most guys is hard to sing.
From about G5 up to C6. So we'll go from C5. There's a G.
Okay, I do not like how he's attacking the notes. First of all, he's using air to attack them. And so instead of using air to support a sound, he's using air to hit them. Second of all, the way he's hitting the notes is coming from under. You can see like it's kind of scooping into them. That's one issue with sliding, is that you don't hit the notes directly. And when you can see was when he's singing them, he's half a step flat in this note. Let's play it back. He's a whole half step flat. Here's how you should sing high notes. Attack them from above. Place above. So if I'm going to sing Ma, I'm going to pretend as if I'm singing the note above it. Ma, Ma. I'm using that placement. And with that placement, and it's an interesting concept. If you, let's use a basketball for an example. If you hit the note directly, aka throw the basketball directly at the rim, the basketball is going to go off. You have to aim above the rim to get the basket in. Likewise, for singing, you have to position yourself above the note to hit the note accurately.
And that's the top of the piano I have here, the C6.
That's pretty
I'll
good.
go through the transition. try to go higher.
Okay, this is where it gets kind of crazy. It hurts. Like, it feels like there's a lot of scraping going on. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be good on the voice. But he hits the note. But this is not recommended at all.
Here's the C7. And from, that sounds a lot like the C6, although I've gone up the octave. C6 I'll do again.
That's a C.
So 4.
Yeah. The heck? I see. I don't understand when you would need to use these notes. Like, his channel is looking for the vocal extremities, but here's the thing: when you are singing, you're never ever going to need to sing this high. The highest I've had to sing ever was a C6, and that was in a choir piece, whereas I was a soprano 1. As a bass, I would never have to sing that.
Sorry, that was an F8.
Bro, so high.
No. 7. 8.
I don't think he sounded a little sharp. That didn't sound like a C at the end. Let's just. I think he's saying a D at the end. But here's the thing. It does not matter how high or how low you can sing. Vocal range is only a part to what makes you a good singer. There's a lot of things that go into it. Breath support, singing technique, how accurate your pitches are, how strong your voice is, how much resonance you have, how much timbre you have. Now, he himself is not a bad singer at all. But vocal range is not a be-all, end-all. You can always expand your vocal range slowly. But that does not mean that vocal range is the sole important factor when you're singing. We also learned that when you're singing high notes, you have to hit them from above, not underneath. You don't want to come under, you want to come above. And low notes, again, not like this. You want to be very forward placement with them. Like, ma, 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 ma. And I like the way he sings his low notes. He's like, very forward placement. One thing, he could open his mouth a little wider. Ma, 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 ma. But he's very, very good at his low notes. I appreciate it. So, overall, Ivan Dorin, interesting guy. The concept behind his channel is vocal extremities. Will we ever use this in the real world? 99.9% of the time, not. But it's interesting to see how high and how low someone can go. He himself, I think it's like a 6-7 octave range. It's impressive, but it's not really applicable. 2 octaves, perfect enough. 3 octaves, amazing. 1.5 octave, it's very good. 1 octave, we could build up from there. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, I'll greatly appreciate if you liked and subscribed. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one, and have a great day.